Hey traders, Akil Stokes here, and welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. No, I'm not overly caffeinated. I am just excited about life. You see, although I am busy 90% of the time, I am stressed out 90% of the time, and I am tired 90% of the time, I get to live life on my terms, and my foot is on the pedal at every single waking moment, doing what I love, and hopefully helping you guys get to that level as well. Today I have a very special podcast for you. Guest host, Mr. Jason Graystone himself. He's going to share a mind-blowing story which will have you never looking at the financial markets the same again. Hey guys, before we dig into today's episode of the Trading Coach Podcast, I want to give you a massive thank you. You see, the show, the TCP, has just been picked up by iHeartRadio. And I tell you what, they just don't pick up anybody. I reached out to iHeartRadio a few weeks ago and they said, in order to pick up your show, we need to see this, you need to have that. And well, because of the consistency of the support, because of the numbers, because of the comments, because of the shares, they deemed this show popular enough to host on their site as well. So thank you. That is 100% up to you guys. And I'm just so glad that we can now reach another handful of traders by using a different platform. Now, today I have a special episode for you. Guest host Jason Graystone is going to come in. I'm going to share a video he just did doing some investigative journalism on the reality of trading. And I'll tell you what, it's going to blow your mind. So if you're listening to this in a car, you may want to pull over to the side because you may not believe what you hear. You may be in shock. And well, I don't want you guys on the road when that happens. Now, before we get into it, just want to give you some background on Jason. Jason is a trader that is very similar to myself. We share the same story, meaning that we've basically made a success out of ourselves the hard way, right? We weren't born into a certain amount of money. We bit down, we grit our teeth, we got our hands dirty and earned our way to success. Jason Graystone was a client of mine a long time ago. And what's funny is when he first started training with me, he had invested some money in a not so reputable Forex training company before that. And when he came to train with me, he was very serious. He said, hey, this is it. I've done some mistakes in the past. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to help others. And he was very direct in his goals. And you can imagine I've worked with thousands of traders over time. So I'm like, okay, I've heard this story before. Half of the people will actually do that. The other half will fail out. It happens, right? I talk to traders all the time on social media that pretend to be serious, and I can just tell they aren't. But there was something different about him. It was not just the fact that he was talking a big game, but he never really bragged about it. He just said, I'm going to show you. And through the duration of his training, he backed up every bit of his word, working hard, mastering a craft, even going MIA for a few months to really dig in and complete that back testing. And when he came out, he came out a successful trader, and he followed up on his goal to teach others, and that's what he's doing right now. Jason Graystone is one of the co-founders over at tier1trading.com, and it's just been a pleasure to work with him. It's been a pleasure to have him as a friend, have him as a business partner. And if you guys don't follow him already on social media, make sure you do so. You can check out this same topic over on his YouTube page. He has a nice video on it, Jason Graystone. And also give him a follow on Twitter. Give him a follow on Instagram, the letter J _ Graystone. Great information, great motivation. Will have you thinking about entrepreneurship, thinking about trading, thinking about life in a completely different way. A must follow. So with that being an introduction, that wasn't a bad intro. Man, I'm usually pretty bad at these things. Let's dig into the program, and I'll come back at the very end and sort of share my opinion on it as well.
All right, hopefully this title of this video caught your attention, and the purpose of this video is not to call out any company or educator or anything like that. The purpose of this video is purely to bring to your awareness what's going on out there, and the misconception that is getting a lot of people into a lot of trouble. And the reason I wanted to do this video is because I felt that I should. I was at a networking event just last week, and as I left the event, I went into McDonald's. It was uptown. I just wanted to grab a coffee, and I just wanted to grab a coffee so I could go and get the train, and I'd get a coffee for the train. As I was queuing up, I noticed a guy who's staring at his phone. He's got a McFlurry next to him, untouched. He's not even looking at the McFlurry ice cream, and he's just fixated on his phone, okay, with his headphones in. So naturally, I looked down at his phone because I couldn't believe, like, he had his head on it, he had his hands on his head looking at his phone. I looked down at his phone and noticed that he's on a trading platform. He's watching a currency pair, he's watching a trade that he's in on a trading platform on his mobile phone. So I was so fixated with how emotionally attached he seemed to be to the trade, I couldn't help but ask myself what he was looking at. And this video is going to be about a 10-minute interview where I'm asking the guy questions just to get an insight into what people really think about the Forex market, or in fact about any speculative market, because I know there's lots of false misconceptions. I know there's people out there selling dreams and hopes, right? Selling it on the basis that you could get away on your yacht, have a helicopter, live in mansions and Lambos and Ferraris. It's just not the reality, right? It's not the reality when it's delivered in a certain format. So as my own personal ethics and my approach to teaching, with absolutely no motivation other than to steer people away from those types of companies, I felt that I should deliver this video purely because after the 10 minutes of talking to the guy, it takes a lot for me to get gobsmacked, and I was speechless. I was like paralyzed. I couldn't even bring myself to help the guy. I felt like he was too far gone. But then as the weekend went by, I couldn't stop thinking about him, and I felt a bit guilty. So I thought, how can I use that and turn it into the good? So I thought I'd deliver this video. Obviously the identity of the guy is protected, but just listen to what goes on. So enjoy this video. Please listen all the way through. I will be commenting all the way through it as well. So just enjoy. All right, notice how his hands are, he's literally, look at his McFlurry, it's untouched. He's not even looking at his McFlurry, he's just fixated on his phone. Keeps touching it. What are you watching there, mate? Anything good?
Yeah, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to break even or try and make a bit of cash out of this.
He's trying to break even or make a bit of cash out of the trade.
This one, crypto trade.
Crypto?
Yeah.
How's it going for you?
I lost a lot.
You lost a lot?
Yeah, it was stupid. I didn't know the game, so I went in blind. But if I knew the game like I knew now, I'd be about 150,000 since February.
So he's fixated with the 150,000 that he could have had. Already, I'm thinking to myself, this guy is away with the fairies. Like, he's not grounded at all. He thinks that he now knows the game since February. He doesn't know the game. Wow, so you know the game now.
But now I've lost everything, and I've got to pay loans and debts and all these things off, and it's crazy, and I'm earning a minimum salary. It's crazy. So I'm like...
He's lost thousands and thousands of pounds. He's desperate. He's actually relying on a crypto trade, just to break even or grasp back some of that money that he's lost.
I put in a little bit every week. I'm investing a little bit into my account, like $250. Just messing about till I get a second loan, and then...
He's investing part of his hard-earned cash every week into an account and he's messing around with it until he can afford a second loan. The guy told me that he was on his second credit card. He was looking to get a second credit card to max that out on cryptocurrency.
But I'm going to go into stock marketing, Forex. Sorry, not stock market. Forex.
Right. Why Forex?
Opportunities come up for a junior trader.
An opportunity's come up for a junior trader in the Forex market.
So I'm sick and tired of I used to have one of the most popular cake companies in London.
Right.
I lost that when I went in with a big company. And yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough the last 5 years. Very tough. I mean, it was tough, but I was growing. I was going places.
Sure.
That was for 10 years, and then for the last 5 years, I just took a back seat.
So first of all, this guy has lost his business. He's gone into the cake industry and the catering industry in London. He's lost his business. Do you think that makes him emotionally stable? Do you think he's in a good position to then go in and start speculating in the currency market without having some cash buffers behind him, without having some savings, without having some other investments? He's literally ploughing everything he's got into a unicorn.
What makes you think that Forex trading will be easier?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not. It's not easy. It's easier if you know the game.
It's easy to know the game.
Well, the opportunities come up, and obviously, yeah, I kind of do, but I need to learn a lot. I need to learn. It's quite easy.
Quite easy? I thought you just said it was hard.
It's actually very simple. Forex game is very simple. Yeah,
it's very easy.
Just two things you need to look for: highs and lows.
Oh, you just have to look for highs and lows. So it's very easy. Just now you said it was hard. Now it's very easy. You just look for highs and lows.
Really?
Yeah, that's how you bring the Forex game down to. Forex is very easy because all you're looking for is you're comparing two currencies with each other, and you're looking for highs and lows. You've got to understand that market. Once you know the game, it's like football or basketball or something. Once you know the game, you're set. It's with everything else. Knowledge is power. Understanding something is important because if you lack of now, understand crypto.
Notice how he keeps touching his phone. Every time it goes dark screen, he's touching it. He's touching it. When I place trades, I go out. I go to the gym. I'm not emotionally triggered because the hard work. Once I've put the trade on, all the hard work's done. All of my analysis is done. My testing, my number crunching, all of the analysis for my judgment on the market, the technical analysis. All of the entry techniques, all of that stuff's done. Once you know you're getting in and where you can get out, you've set those orders. You're not emotionally triggered. You don't care anymore. That's it. Go out. Forget it. This guy's just constantly touching his phone. He can't bear himself to look away for more than a few minutes.
I wish I knew what I knew back then. Yeah. Oh my God, I would have been in about $150,000 to $200,000. And it's since February.
What you could have had. Anyone that's thinking about what you could have had, again, away with the fairies, you're not grounded.
Because I entered the market at the perfect time. I came into the market with the right kind of money at the perfect time to make those kind of gains. Because I was working on tens of thousands. I can show you my account, but I'm just trying to crack this one. I'm playing games here. This is
playing games. Have you guys got $200 a week to play games with? Do you think he has? The guy's lost the business. He's maxed out a loan and he's looking for a second loan. He's wearing a jacket that's ripped. He's in a desperate state, but he's playing games.
If I was serious, I wouldn't be here. I'd have my computer in front of me. I'd be away from all this distraction. Yeah, at the moment it's
what
like...
What do you think the key to successful trading is then?
Just know the game.
Know the game. The key to successful trading is know the game.
Know the game. Takes time. Do what I'd say is do demos.
Yep.
Do demos. Learn. Go onto YouTube.
Go onto YouTube.
Do all the stuff you know. Listen to the successful guys who don't know the stuff but actually got the experience.
They don't know the stuff, but they've got the experience.
Like who? Who do you follow?
I just join communities, different guys. I'll join like 100 of them.
Subscribe to 100 YouTube channels. You'll definitely pinpoint some expertise there.
I just subscribe to 100 of them, and I'll pick up the ones I really like learning from, and then I'll learn from the guys who just know the game. You know, like platforms and companies that teach you the game. They teach you the game.
Is there any companies you recommend?
Yeah, a good one is what's his name? Learn is a good one. What's his name? He's a well-known billionaire. He started from nothing. He had nothing. He's very good. He's got companies all around the world.
Sounds like Warren Buffett.
They've got a.
I don't think he's.
There's a lot of them, but if you want to make money, go into the crypto community, invest there.
Listen very carefully now, because if you want to make money, go onto the crypto community and invest there.
If you want to learn to trade, but learn to trade properly. Guys, there's a lot of experts on that are really good, that have made millions.
Right.
They've got hundreds of millions or millions.
They've got hundreds of millions.
And then just learn the game for yourself, you know. But don't just get into it like I did. Don't just enter it. You will burn your fingers. You will crash and burn. You think you know what you're doing, but then fear, obsessing, greed, and overconfidence.
It's like he's just heard some buzzwords and he's just spitting out as much fluff as he possibly can.
And if you have those things, you go like this.
Really?
Yeah, because see, when I came to the trade, I didn't even know how to navigate my system. Seriously, I was that dumb. I didn't even know how to drive. I didn't even know how to put the reflectors on and adjust the mirror of the car.
Okay, so a warning to anyone who's buying some overlay platform or some buy and sell automated signal that just tells you where to buy and click. This guy's basically talking about that. He didn't even know how to use a trading platform, and yet he's still trading. The problem you're going to have with that is you don't know what the strategy is behind the system, so you won't have the mental stability to sit through losing trades, and there are going to be losing trades.
I was that dumb.
Wow.
And I went in, I put in 500
It doesn't
pounds.
sound like something you can just go into.
No ways. Honestly, I tell everybody to take 2 months of intensified training of at least
2 months.
2 months of 2 to 5 hours a day.
2 months of training. I'd love to get my wife in here and tell her that it only takes 2 months to trade Forex. I think she would have happily agreed to that instead of the 2.5 years that I went through struggling, and then the 2 years that it took me to then go on to back test and demo trade and really ride the ups and downs of the market until I was finally profitable.
Learning the game. You will burn it. Listen, it's your money. It's your money, man. It's not a game.
You'll burn. If you don't take 2 months to learn, you'll burn. Take 2 months to learn. Go around YouTube. Subscribe to 100 YouTube channels, and it will take you 2 months. And then Forex is easy.
You know, you invest in, it's like going to take people out for dinner, lunch, breakfast, tea time, whatever, and you invest money, man. You want to know that money you invest in, you're going to make something back for it, else you're wasting you're basically burning your money in front of you. That's what I did. I'll show you my account. As soon as I make a win here, I'll show you my account of 8,000 that I just burnt like that overnight.
He just burnt $8,000 this week. He just burnt $8,000 this week.
But what I did was, all I needed to do was understand the game, and I had signs. I knew this was going to happen because I had already 2 weeks experience.
Oh, he had 2 weeks experience. He already knew. 2 weeks. He's had 2 weeks experience. He knew everything that was going wrong. And can I just say, this is not a game.
But I didn't adhere to my warnings. I played it very hard. I went in and gambled. I didn't trade. Because I went in such high. And then when I saw it, and then I got a tip from a guy from my crypto community.
Right, he got a tip from a guy in a crypto community. Do you know that is any kind of signal service or taking advice on any asset class, taking tips is a recipe for disaster, and I'll tell you why. Because you cannot maintain consistency. If you don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you're not consistent in doing it, then you're not going to earn money in the long run. It's like the casinos. People who don't have a strategy, they don't know what they're doing. The casino want you to play as long as possible because they know over time you haven't got any consistency, therefore they have the edge. Whereas you look at the poker table and it's the same players always at the winning table. And that's because they've got a strategy, and that's because they're consistent. It's everything.
Stop trading at a certain level or else you're going to burn. I didn't listen to you. I mean, the guy was in my face, man. Just like you coming to you, hey buddy, do you want to make some money? I'm going, nah, I'd rather stay the way I am. That's all I did. And meanwhile, he said, do not buy over 11.3, and I was on 11.5.
Right.
Or he said, do not buy on 11.5, and I was on 11.7, and I went and go and buy more instead of sell.
Right.
And that's when it crashed. It just crashed like this. And in 3 days, I could have made about 30 grand.
Wow.
It's crazy. It was crazy.
Nice to meet you, Jason.
Jay, where about, Jason?
Jason Graystone. I'm from West Sussex.
Okay.
Yeah.
But honestly, you can make a lot of money. The big fad at the moment, with small money, if you've got a bit of capital, is crypto. But invest in the top coins. Go into the crypto community. Anybody who's a crypto king on YouTube, like Crypto King, Crypto Queen, Crypto Mike, Crypto John, Crypto Jason, whatever, just join those guys up, listen to their information,
Really?
then do trading, listen to trading stuff. They're getting a lot of tips, but you need to understand it. It's no good in knowing that you can make money. See, a lot of guys don't understand the horse. I just was in ASCO today. They don't understand the horse racing. They don't understand the football industry. So they do not know the game. Know your game. Master your game. It takes 20,000 hours to master anything in life.
Hang on, 20,000 hours? He just said 2 weeks. I'm not very good at maths, but I'm pretty sure 20,000 hours is more than 2 weeks.
It becomes a blueprint part of you. So my advice to you is do demos, learn everything, get part of communities, guys that know what they're doing, guys that when they give you info, these guys, and they can prove it with they've got money to show. You know what I mean? These guys are not just all talking, just air.
They've got cars and Lambos, so therefore they must know the game.
And just go in and just be confident of knowing that, listen, if I'm going to put 20 pounds on this trade, I'm going to make 40, or at least 100, or, at least 40, but it's something about...
What about losing trades? Should you expect
You do have, in the beginning, you have more losses, but small losses, remember, cut your losses quick.
Cut your losses quick, okay. Good bit of advice. Although there aren't more losses in the beginning. You don't want to be trading until you have back-tested a plan, a trading plan, and you know your expected performance based on historical data. So there's no, unless you're just going into a drawdown, a true drawdown, not a forced drawdown, then there's no reason why you should have more losses at the beginning.
Don't hold on to your losses, okay? You will burn badly. But cut your losses quickly. Cut your losses. If you go in and trade, you see this is no good, cut it straight away. Cut it with its first proper dip. Like if you say you've entered a £100 deal, cut it straight away.
A bit objective there.
I'm hanging on to this because I'm being patient. I've learned the trade.
How come you're watching it though? Like, are you still,
because I'm just
still
about to
emotionally
break.
attached to
Yeah. No, I'm there. I'm just about to crack a deal, but I'm telling you, I've been monitoring the whole day. I took massive risks.
You've been monitoring that the whole day, so it's consumed your day.
No, I was working, but I kept on every half an hour, 10 minutes.
He's been monitoring that trade the entire day.
Every hour, checking my account.
I don't know about you guys, but I got into trading for a bit more freedom. Going to look at your phone every 10 minutes is not freedom. That's enslaving yourself to your phone.
Listen, man, I'll check it out. Thanks for...
It's a pleasure, man.
Thanks,
Jason, listen, just go and learn. Study, learn, become a skillful. Then,
I will do. I'll try my best.
And then do demo models, open up demo accounts.
Right, this is the best bit of the video. He's about to give you his 3 top tips for you to go into speculative markets.
But the best thing, you use 3 safest ways. I'll give you 3 safe ways. 3 safe ways in 3 safe places. Mine crypto. If you want to do crypto, you mine it. You make it's just like a savings account. You just make interest, but you've got to have a bit of capital. Then invest in the top coins. They've made people millionaires overnight.
They've made people millionaires overnight. So again, that quick hit, that unicorn.
Okay, you can land up making 10 grand overnight.
Oh, was it 10 grand or a million? Just now you said it was a million.
It's easy. But you've got to know the top 5, the top 10, like Tron, Neo, EOS, all these. And 2, when you trade not more than 10 to 15% of your account.
Hang on, 10 to 15% of your account on any one trade. Now, that is insane. Let me just put that into perspective. If you're trading 15% risk on every trade and you take 3 losing trades in a row, you're wiping out 45% of your account, which means that you have to, in order to get just back to where you were, you have to make 100% of your account growth. Almost. So if you lose almost 50% of your account, you've got to make 100% back just to get back to break even. How often have you doubled your account recently? Now let me just tell you that my money management strategy is far more complex, and it's a smooth ratio strategy, and the maximum over my entire portfolio at risk at any one time is probably less than 3%. No more, no more than 1% on any one trade. So this is absolutely insane. If he's taken 3 losing trades in a row, which he probably has because he's only spent 2 weeks learning and he knows the game, and he's learnt that from hundreds of YouTube channels, well, he probably has taken 3 losing trades in a row. The problem is with that, he's now halved his account, which means he needs to make 100% back again just to get to where he started.
10 to 15%.
Of your account. Never use more than that.
Never
You'll
more.
swallow your margin. And when you start your investment, going with a broker, with an agent who knows what they're talking about, but somebody that you really connect with. Don't just go with some idiot that just have it. This is a lot of guys that are in the trade that don't know what they're doing.
So he's actually talking to a broker that he's connecting with, and the broker is happy for him to trade 15% and risk 15% of his capital on any one trade.
I appreciate your advice, mate.
Listen, all the best.
Thank you very much.
I hope it turns out well for you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, and just as we finished off there, he made a comment. He said, just as I switched the phone off, he said, "I hope in 6 months' time from now you got yourself a Lambo or Ferrari." And I looked at him and I just felt sad. Now, I want to make this clear. I didn't do this video to make a mockery of anyone, and I didn't do this video to call anyone out. What I did this video for was to raise awareness of this crazy perception that is out there, and people are being sold this somewhere. See, people have got this idea of trading being this unicorn that's going to answer all of their problems, instead of concentrating on the process. Trading's a business like any other business. It can make you very wealthy because it provides you with lots and lots of free time. If you can concentrate and nail it and get through the process and actually become consistently profitable, it can make you very, very wealthy. But just clinging on to that lottery ticket, or clinging on to every word that some guru has told you online, is not the way. Tread very carefully. Our entire business is built on ethical approach. We want to steer people away from this type of rubbish, and we want to help people like this guy so that then they can stop bleeding, stop losing their money. Whether they like trading or they come into the platform and think, actually, this isn't for me, this isn't what I thought it would be like. Fine, you haven't risked a lot of money, you haven't given up thousands of pounds just to learn that, and you can walk away happy in the knowledge that, you know what, Jason, the guys over at Tier 1, Akil, they gave me the truth, and I haven't had to blow my money just to learn that. And on the other hand, you can come in, get the real expectations, right? Appreciate the journey and what it's going to take to get there. Then you can learn, okay? Then you can trade, and then you can have all the wealth that you could possibly imagine. But you've got to go through it in the right process. So what I want you to do, guys, is share this around with everyone, because there's lots of false hope. There's lots of false dreams being sold. There's lots of misconceptions about what trading is. I want you to share this around as much as you can so we can help people like this guy. We are good at what we do. We believe in our product. It's the best product out there. It's the best program out there. We've got the greatest community out there. Leave a comment below. Give this a thumbs up. Just for that guy, please, just for the guy, and share it around. And until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you then.
So what many traders don't understand is that this is the reality of trading. We always talk about social media being this canvas where people can paint the best picture of themselves, and trading is no different. When you see people on Instagram, you see people on Twitter talking about trading. It's always sharing screenshots of success, big wads of money, planes and jets, and they're painting this imaginary picture of what trading is. Unfortunately, the reality is trading is really a disease very similar to gambling, where people get caught up in this false reality, having these false expectations, and they ruin their lives. They ruin the lives of others because of this addiction. And if this video doesn't paint that picture for you, I don't know what will. It's very similar. It brings me back to the movie The Matrix, right? I'm going to nerd myself out a little bit, but you know, in The Matrix, Neo had a choice, right? He had a choice, take a red pill or take a blue pill. And the blue pill was remain in reality, remain in this false sense of comfort and just be told what you want to be told. And this is kind of what many traders are stuck in, right? Even though they're bleeding money, they're caught up over these dreams and these desires of what could be if I only change this. I just have to do this, and before they know it, they either bleed their account or they expire in life before they ever achieve those goals. However, the red pill, right? When Neo took the red pill, he was shown what the reality actually looked like. He was shown that Earth or the world wasn't this place where we wake up and we go to our jobs and we have these sunny days. Rather, we're inside this alternate reality where machines are taking over and harvesting us. If you're not a Matrix fan, just ignore that. But the red pill, as far as trading goes, is what you just saw from the outside looking in. Right? Although this person in a weird way had confidence in what he was doing. When I first saw this video, I felt bad. I felt sad. Obviously, this person wasn't able to look in the mirror and see the reality of what he was doing. And believe it or not, but many of you guys that are listening to this podcast, you may be in that same boat. You may know deep down that something needs to change. You may know deep down that you're not doing things right. You may be saying to yourself, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna change. I'm just gonna give it one more month. I'm gonna give it one more year." You need to do it right now. Stop right now. Stop bleeding your account right now. Take a realistic view of what you're doing. Think about what needs to be changed, and then take action to put yourself in a position where that change can happen. Because if you don't, well, you're going to be no different than the guy that Jason just interviewed. Harsh? Yeah. Sad? No doubt. But this is the reality of trading. If there's one thing we promised when we got into coaching other traders, is that we were going to show you what the reality looked like, and we were not going to sugarcoat it. We were going to give you a choice. You can take the red pill and have us show you the way, or you can take the blue pill and keep living this fantasy. So it's up to you guys. Hopefully you make the right decision. Hopefully these podcast episodes are helping with that. And I appreciate you guys joining me for another episode.